Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Mary Bird's Backyard Garden. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Mary.
How come I do that? Jeff.
Yeah, I was
kinda
wondering
fun.
that myself.
I don't know. Nobody actually talks like that, but it's kind of fun to do. Go to a party.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Jeff. That would be kind of
Larry.
that would be kind of weird. Anyway, it's fun to do on the podcast. See, you get to do other things when you're on the podcast. You can do like other stuff and have other voices and
Your
such.
Rolodex is going
the old
like
Rolodex
a whirl.
is rolling.
It's whirling like a tilt-a-whirl right now.
Have fun.
You do.
Well, Mary, I got to ask you, what's new in the garden?
You know what? Actually, very good. We went to one of the garden. We went to a big box store and they had the Pennington Wildflower seeds out right now.
Yes, I forgot.
And we got the one specifically for Texas, which comes with the seeds and a mulch type product in the bag. So in the front yard, I put out our wildflower seeds, and we've had such good luck with the Pennington brand in the past years. So I'm really looking forward to next spring.
You know what? I forgot we bought. We actually bought that a little bit ago. I forgot we did that. Mm-hmm. Good on you, matey.
Good on me, matey. I have one more bag to put in the backyard.
Okay.
And also maybe the milkweed, I think, might go out in the fall. I can't remember right now, but I will look that up and see. Yeah.
Very good.
So
very good.
We did get those planted. And we've been showing the picture about our unusual visitor.
I know. We've been getting input from
Family
members.
What's the consensus, do you think?
It wasn't a Jaguarindo or whatever that thing was.
I'm very sad. I was excited about that.
What was it? It was what did they all decide? Some kind of a fox?
Gray fox?
Gray fox? Black fox? Gray fox?
Gray, maybe? At any rate, they decided it was definitely a fox, and they looked it up. And instead of your traditional fox with the fluffier tail, the pictures that they identified did have a more slender tail.
Cool.
I have to agree with them.
It's kind of funny. It was, I don't know what it was looking for by our front door, but it's kind of interesting.
Looking for?
It's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's the question.
I like it.
We've been definitely getting a lot of wildlife here lately.
Wildlife, yes.
Yeah.
We have. And speaking of a lot of wildlife, the birds are wearing me out. They literally go through full feeders at one a day. I'm going to have to start weaning them off a little bit. Because number one, it's going to get really expensive. And two, they need to slow down. I sat a couple of days ago. I sat on the back porch, and I think you were doing something inside, and I started counting them. And I came out and said, Mary, there was 35 birds queued up.
That is shocking.
They were queued, and that was just on the ones that was on two of them that we have that were in my line of sight. There was another one on the other side of the yard I didn't even look at, but 35 birds.
35
queued
birds.
up. They queue up on the little fence. And then they take turns and they literally annihilate and there's a lot of bird feed in there too. There's a lot of seed in there.
We do have some other bird feeders, some other, how do you want to say? They're kind of round, like a column. They're stuck sort of on there.
Yeah, I don't know what they're more solid, but they're all where they can just go and eat off of it.
Yes. And so they are not left without provision.
No, we have those, but geez.
We have like 3 or 4 of those.
They are,
they're wild.
It's not even a day. I'll put it out in the morning, and by the afternoon,
it's amazing.
But that's a lot of birds. They're eating a lot of bird seed on us.
Wow.
I know. I'm weaning them. It's going to get expensive if I don't. It's a full-time job.
Never.
I know, but it's like a full-time job.
Yes, it is, actually.
It is cool to see.
I think you've been doing it more intelligently lately. You haven't been filling it to the top.
No.
You've been giving them a small portion, every day
been doing
or
like
every
half,
other day.
No, not every day anymore because it's just too much. But And they do have the other ones.
Yes, they do.
And they will go to it if the other ones are empty. And I don't know why. They look pretty cool. They got like embedded little bugs and everything in there. If I was a bird, I'd go for it. I don't know.
Not all birds eat bugs.
No. Okay.
No.
Well, okay.
You know how that is. We saw the most impressively large crow the other day.
We did.
Wow, he was huge. I don't even know how to compare him to something.
Large. We were at a stoplight, weren't we?
We were at a stoplight.
And he was up on the top of a light pole or something.
Yes.
Just squawking at everybody. I was like, look at that. You could see his mouth going. But he was very, very big.
So they're coming through right now, too.
Hey, they better not be getting my bird food. No, just kidding. They're welcome. All birds are welcome.
I haven't seen them. I don't know exactly what they eat except for French fries.
Yeah, that's true.
I haven't seen them in the yard. But I think we have heard them.
I think so.
They have a very distinctive, weird, chuckly sound.
Okay. I'm going to listen for a chuckle. I think that'd scare me if I hear a chuckle out in the backyard. Sundown chuckles. I don't think I want to hear. What else you got?
Well, the other thing is we did put in our beautiful succulent garden, and we talked about that, I think, last week. And I'm delighted with it. But we knew before we went into it that we were going to struggle with Bermuda.
Yeah.
And with some of the other seeds. And we are. So this past week, we have been using Captain Jack's Dead Weed Brew.
Captain Jack.
And we are trying very hard to get the Bermuda to wear itself out so we're not pulling it. I think the more you pull on it and break the roots below ground, the more aggressive I think it gets.
Might be. And it's hard to get down to the roots on it.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's hard.
We're hoping that Captain Jack helps us out here.
Yes. So it is sort of like it'll burn the top growth. And I think this is what I'm hoping is that over time we'll use up all the energy in the roots. We're really giving it a good shot.
Yep. We're going to give it a
So far, I think the Bermuda may be winning.
I know the stuff.
If I have to add up the score, I don't know.
We got to see. We got to give it. I don't know. Maybe it takes a few days, I guess, doesn't it?
Well, I just think it's going to be a repeated application. It's not going to be a fast process at all.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Captain Jack, we're counting on you, buddy.
Captain Jack. You can make your own homemade version of Captain Jack. And in that version, you would use water, citric acid. Citric acid is found in, it's like the precursor in oranges to vitamin C. So it is a natural substance. And you would use orange oil, which you could buy in bottles on all different types of stores. And then you want to use a very strong vinegar. If you could find in the grocery store a 9% pickling vinegar, that would be good. And I think you mix 1 gallon of water and you put in, and then you can vary your strengths however you want to do it. If you want to put in, I don't know, 3 cups of vinegar or a cup of citric acid, a cup of orange oil. Sometimes I put in clove oil, and that smells really good too.
I like that.
So you could do a homemade version of it. The Captain Jack's Dead Brew uses caprylic acid, which I do believe is another naturally occurring substance.
Okay.
And they do try to do the same purpose. They do the same purpose of burning the top foliage.
Well,
but anyways,
we're going to be keeping an eye on it.
We're really giving it a try. We'll keep you updated.
Okay.
Never fear.
I like it.
We're going to keep you updated on that one.
We will keep you updated.
Jeffy, do you have any other new items?
I don't. I think I said the lawn mowing activity has definitely slowed. Yay!
Mm-hmm. But
it looks
beautiful.
good.
It
Looks
does
good.
look
Yeah,
good.
it looks good. It's not obviously not growing as fast anymore. I don't think I have anything. We've been more enjoying. You've been out there doing stuff, watering and stuff, but
much
it's
enjoying.
more of an enjoyment time now as we move further into fall. How's that?
Well, I know sometimes as it gets into fall, a little bit of you want to get your house in order kicks in. And so this past week, I think I've gotten a big dose of fall cleaning-itis. So we've been inside quite a bit.
We have. We've been enjoying the garden from the deck and from the porch, but
yes.
Yeah, I got you. Well, cool.
Very cool.
Well, what do you have for us for the topic for this week, Mary?
Well, being is that it is October. The pecan trees in our area, the pecans are beginning to ripen and be harvested around this time in the fall of the year. And so I really wanted to talk about pecan trees.
I like it.
And I learned. I always learn every week.
You know, we had when I was growing up, we had remember? My parents' house in Austin had a pecan tree in the back.
Yeah, your mother loved to gather the pecans and shell them.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
And I remember they were the good kind that had a large portion of meat and a smaller shell.
They were actually really. They were dropped a lot of pecans.
Really good.
All right, I just wanted to throw that in.
I
there.
love it. I
have personal connection with pecan trees. And we don't say pecan here, by the way. We say pecan.
Although the Pecan Growers Association does recognize that there can be different pronunciations, they sort of are asking people to say pecan.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Yes.
Well,
we say pecan.
I only brought that up. I watched something recently, and I don't even know what I was watching, and the two people were having an argument on how to say the word. It was one said pecan and one said pecan.
Well, a little later in the description that I'm going to give in the presentation, we'll come across why it may be more correct to say pecan.
Okay, there you go. I love it.
There we go.
Okay. Back to you, Mary.
The pecan tree. So let me start out by telling you that the family, if you're looking at the overarching structure, the pecan falls within the family of walnuts, of walnut trees.
That makes sense. Okay.
Juglandaceae. I don't know how to pronounce that one, but that's what it is.
Okay.
But as you travel down the tree, you come to the genus, and that is where the pecan separates from the walnut. In the genus, it's the Carya, which is in the hickory family. Isn't that interesting, right? So I didn't know those two facts at all. And then you travel further down and you come to the species, which is Carya illinoisis. Illinoisis.
From Illinois? Is it from Illinois?
And there is a little story about that.
Okay.
As the settlers moved from the eastern portions of the United States, they got all the way over towards Illinois. And that's when the explorers, that's the furthest west.
Okay.
That they found them. So they named it the Illinoisis.
See, I was just joking, but look at that.
And there you go.
All right.
You figured that one out. But I was surprised that it was in the hickory family. I wouldn't associate those two.
Yeah.
But anyways, the genus Carya, which is the hickories, have 16 different species worldwide. And then 11 of them are found within the eastern United States, all the way over into Texas. And 8 of these species are native to Texas. 8 species of all of the 16 are hickories are native to Texas, which is, I think that's pretty interesting.
It is.
And so as you look into the to the common names, pecan is the only one not to have hickory within the common name, which is kind of interesting all by itself. So among the 16 species, our pecan tree is the largest, and it grows moderately fast compared to the others. It is a very valuable commodity, as we'll see while we're talking, and it really is one of the longest lived of the species. It could live 200 to 300 years.
Okay.
Yeah. It can, so the Carya, which is the genus name, comes from the Greek word. Carya in our genus name is spelled with a C, but in the Greek form, it's spelled with a K, Karya, and that means a nut-bearing tree. And what did I write on here?
Oh, boy.
I know. Okay, we already know it's in the walnut family. Very interesting, right? So it is a deciduous tree, meaning it loses its leaves in the wintertime. It could go 100 feet plus tall, and the spread of the canopy can be between 30 and 70 feet wide. And so as I'm sitting here thinking about this, I always think about that one little ranch that we have inside Austin. And you're going down the highway, I think it's like 183. It's the corner of 183 and
620. Yeah.
620.
Or,
so major highways. It's right underneath the big overarching the
overpass.
The overpasses, right? But the family has kept their ranch.
They have.
It has beautiful meadows. Sometimes, every once in a while, they'll have cattle in there. And it has a beautiful pecan grove that's growing. And I love to go by there all the time. But anyway, I think that's pretty cute.
It is.
So the leaves on the pecan tree, they're a glossy green. And to my eyes, they sort of have a feather shape to them. They have a kind of a curvy, fat bottom coming out to a point. That's how I describe them. They're sort of elongated, right? And so the leaves will come out. They are, let me see what they're called here. They're alternate leaves. So they'll come out along the little stem, and each set of leaves comes out exactly opposite one another. And then you'll have one that comes out at the very end. And the pecans are maybe between 1 and 2 inches long, depending on the variety. They're sort of oblong shape. And they grow. The flowers, you don't really see the flowers very much. And I don't ever think I've noticed a scent.
No.
But they will form in groupings or clusters, and then they ripen in October. And the interesting part about it is you might have a very heavy pecan year, and then you might have the next year is probably going to be light. So they don't produce the same amount of nuts every year. They're kind of cyclical in that way. But they love to grow in soils that are very rich and deep, and where their roots can really put out a lot of growth. And along waterways, they love to grow close to water. And so we do want to keep that in mind when we're thinking about where to plant them, because we do need to provide them adequate water. The soils that they like to grow in have been described as alluvial soils. And to my mind, I think that means where water will flood up and recede and
Never
flood
heard
up
that.
and recede, sort of like the Nile Valley, the alluvial plains.
Okay.
And so they like it. They really love living through a hot summer that lasts a good old long time. They're one of those interesting plants that way.
So they love it in Texas.
They love it in
Yes,
Texas.
I bet. And they are very, I mean, you see a lot of them.
Love it. So here's an interesting fact. I have a few interesting facts this week.
Drop some knowledge on us, Mary.
The Nueces River here in Texas was named in 1689 by Alonso de Leon. It is because there was a abundant growth of pecans all along the riverway, and Nueces in Spanish from Spain means nuts.
Oh.
Yeah.
Didn't know
The
that.
plural of that is the Nueces River. And so the name pecan, here we go.
Okay,
You
here it
ready?
comes. Here it comes.
It is from the Algonquin word, and they were, it's either spelled Pacanes, pecanis, or with an E, and I would assume it's pronounced the same way, pecanis.
Mm-hmm.
And they were from the lower Mississippi area. And so what that means is that it's a nut, like that you need to break with a rock. Yeah.
Okay.
And so nut to crack with a stone.
Nice.
Who knew?
That is, I did not know that.
I didn't know that either. In 1762, the popularity of the praline, or some people say praline, took hold. And it was developed in New Orleans around that time. And of course, it's here in Texas. It's a part of our Tex-Mex tradition at the end of a meal to have a little praline after your enchiladas. But it's not, it wasn't a dish from the interior of Mexico. It's always been Tex-Mex
Texas, okay.
form. And I thought next time we would talk about some of the other recipes that are very popular.
Yes.
With the pecan. Yes. So in the state of Texas, back in 1919, it was voted in as the Texas state tree.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, you know, a lot of times pecans will have a very hard shell and they might not have a lot of meat inside of it. But in San Saba, Texas, there was a gentleman that was very interested in developing pecans to the best commercial viability he could. And so he had this tree that he called the San Saba mother tree, which I believe is still alive. And what that did was it gave him a very thin shell with a larger amount of meat. And he began a breeding program using this tree.
Oh, wow.
And this is the start of what you call the paper shell varieties.
Ah, interesting.
That is pretty interesting.
That is.
Right?
I forgot that there was one of those. Yes.
So the pecan is the state nut of Alabama, Arkansas, California, Louisiana. And in 2001, we in Texas voted it to be our official health nut.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Today, there are thousands of varieties, well over 1,000 varieties of pecans. But a lot of people are interested in looking back to the native varieties for strength and vigor and flavor. They're said to be very more flavorful. And so I thought that was so interesting, like 1,000 varieties.
Wow.
But in order to have good growth on your pecans, when you plant them, you have to have 2 or 3 or more varieties to get pollination. Otherwise, it doesn't work. Yeah. But I didn't understand. They didn't tell me why that was. But at any rate.
That's interesting. Yeah.
So, and it's one of the most easily hybridized or cross-pollinated trees that there are. I did learn that. Okay. Now, we have an insurance company here called the Germania Insurance Company. And according to them, the butter pecan ice cream was formulated here in Texas.
Oh.
It is a Texas invention. But, I grew up with pecans, and they were pretty much everywhere where I grew up.
Yeah.
Where we live currently, we don't have those deep, rich soils. We have a thin soil later. And next week, I thought that I would talk about different varieties. And we do have some that have been developed for our area.
Okay.
And I thought I would introduce those.
It'd be interesting. You really don't see, in Austin, there's a lot. We're
yes.
We're a little bit outside of Austin. I don't see any around here.
I really have not.
Not in this particular area.
Yeah, seen that. And I guess I expect I haven't really been on the lookout for it.
I will say I haven't looked for them either.
If you go down, I can't think of the river that travels through Turkey Bend Recreation Center. I do believe there's quite a large population in that area.
Okay. Yeah, by the water. See, it makes sense.
By the water.
Makes sense. Okay. Very nice.
So next week, I was going to talk a little more about the history and the historical uses of pecans.
I like it.
And varieties that you might look for your area.
Okay. Very nice.
Yeah.
The old pecan, I didn't know. I thought it was more of honestly, I just kind of thought it was a Texas thing. Didn't realize it was, it makes sense. It's all over, but very cool.
Well, as you grew up and you traveled around, like Florida and up in the Northeast, do you remember having those?
No, I don't remember seeing pecan
Except
trees.
probably at Christmas time, they would buy the pecans, right?
Well, yeah, we are going to do it next week, but there's a lot of good Christmas and Thanksgiving recipes with pecans. As you well know, as a pecan lover yourself.
Total pecan lover.
I know you are. You're a pecaner.
I love it.
I just made that up. You're a pecaner.
When Jeff was growing up, and when I first knew his parents, he had a glass top coffee table. And every fall, his mom would put this nutcracker on that you pulled it back. It was like spring loaded, right? And so Jeff would be sitting there aiming this nutcracker right at the pecans, and his mom was, "You're going to break the glass."
Yeah, I do remember that. Very cool.
So I was wondering what you might have on
Hey, welcome to Jeff's Corner. I have a couple short things. So the first is, and Mary has seen me do this. So as the, it happens during the year, spring and fall a lot. But, as you have your garden and things are starting to kind of die down, you may start seeing some rodents and things running around. And, you probably won't see them. But if you keep your automobile or your truck outside, there's one way. Yeah, and the reason that I'm bringing this up is because I just had my truck in for service. And when I take it in, they always look to see if there's been any rodents that crawled up into the engine. And it's a big thing. They can cause thousands and thousands of dollars of damage. And one way that you can deter them from coming up into your car is to use something like a peppermint oil or a cayenne pepper or cedar, and you make a spray out of it. And you want to spray on the engine, the wheel wells, and the undercarriage. There's also, you can make your own. There's also some, you can go out on Amazon or whatever and buy it. But so I've done it here because Mary had some peppermint oil. So I've made my own. And to make that, you just put some of the drops of, a few drops of peppermint essential oil. You want that good oil, and water and a little small amount of detergent, and you create a spray. And what it does is it just kind of confuses the scent of mice and anything that get up there. But I was just going to kind of throw that out there, that there are ways to stop it. If you park your car outside, it's it doesn't take long to spray it. Just kind of do that on a regular basis, and that will make sure you don't have the rodents out there. But I will tell you, if you go and just do a search on the type of damage they can do, it is amazing how much damage they can do to your vehicle. But I do think it's funny because every time I bring it in, they always ask, they always open up the hood and look on the engine. They look for paw prints and things. So we do have one vehicle that I can't fit in the garage because it's a truck. But anyway, throw that out there for you just as a little precaution if you get a chance to.
That is a very timely.
Yeah. Look it up. It's pretty interesting. It's pretty devastating to do. I've read stories. There's $10,000, $11,000 worth of damage.
Oh my gosh! Okay,
they can do a lot. They can tear up wires and cause a lot of damage. So that was the first thing. The next thing I had was from our old friends at Texas A&M, the old Texas A&M AgriLife Extension.
Love it.
And this is just a little. Just a little article on fall cleanup for home gardeners. It's by K.A. Cochran. If you go out to the Texas A&M AgriLife Extension site, you can download for free. And just kind of some things that you may want to do in the fall to get ready for the spring. So one of the things you want to do is you want to remove your dead or diseased plant material. So your flowers, fruit, leaves, stems, twigs, and such. Dispose of those properly, and not by composting. You actually want to get rid of those. So, and these are diseased plant materials. So non-diseased dead or dormant plant, they can serve as like an animal habitat, and then you can leave those out there. But anything that's diseased, you want to go ahead and get rid of. So what is diseased, you ask, Mary? What should you look for, you ask, Mary?
What should you look for, Jeff?
So you want to look for things that are like environmental stressors can mimic certain plant disease symptoms. So common plant disease symptoms look for leaf spots, stem cankers, fruit spots, wilt, yellowing, stunting compared to its counterparts, and root rots progressing up the stem. In trees and woody perennials, look for symptoms of fungal fruiting bodies like conchs and thread-like fungal growth under bark.
Oh my gosh.
That falls off easily. Perennials afflicted with cankers or galls prune several inches below visually apparent symptoms. And then if you have some that are severely infected, you want to just go ahead and remove those. And if you're in doubt, you should just remove it. But so you want to make sure that you're getting rid of anything that looks diseased or that you feel is diseased so it doesn't stay out there. And that way you're ready for the spring.
That's very interesting.
I know. And then, as Mary was saying, we're fighting weeds. Well, not so much weeds, but grass. But so you do want to do weed management. And the reason you want to do that is they can be hosts for plant pathogens or habitats for insects that harbor pathogens. That's kind of I think one of the bigger things that you want to do. So fall is, not just a time to sit back and go, hey, fall. You want to clean up and get ready. And I know Mary's always doing this. It's a never ending. Got to get ready for the next growing season.
Ready for the next one,
and
right?
I think we're kind of in a growing season. We're always in a growing season, I think, here. But you do want to get ready and do some things and get ready for spring. Mm-hmm. And like I said, it's a cool little, if you go out to the Texas A&M AgriLife Extension site, it's called Fall Cleanup for Home Gardeners. It's a free download. Give it a look.
Oh, I'm definitely going to go look that up.
Yeah. There you go.
I always get really good information from the AgriLife.
They have a lot. And it's relevant, for tech. It's relevant for everything, but it's kind of focused on a lot of Texas stuff. So anyway, they have a great site out there.
Thank you, Jeff.
Why, you're
I
welcome.
applaud you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
So my next topic sort of follows along with what you were just talking about.
Did I mess you up?
Not even a tad.
Okay.
Yes. So last week we mentioned that it was time to look for frost covers and extending some of your growing season. And I thought that I would just have a mention about what to look for when you're thinking about your frost covers. I went out and kind of did a little research, and the one that I kind of found some details about was from a company called Ag Fabric. And I thought that I would pass along what I learned. So a row cover or a frost cover, some people call them a garden fleece is another name that they might say. They are a fabric made of a polypropylene type material. And you're going to look for frost cover. You want one that is basically 1.5 ounces per square yard, all the way up to 3 ounces per square yard. And what that is signifying is the density of the materials, how close the fibers are going to be together. The higher up, like more towards 3 ounces, you'll get more frost protection. You could actually get 6 degrees warmer underneath that frost cover if it's 3 ounces per square yard. A lot of people like to go with the 1.5, simply, I think, because it'll let a little more light through. So underneath these fabrics, you drape them. You could drape them over your plant, or you could kind of put them under a hoop type form, under a little structure to keep them off the plant. And they will allow, like if it's on the 1.5 ounce, they'll probably allow more light through as compared to the 3 ounce. But they'll allow somewhere between 30 to 50% of the sunlight to get in and reach the plants. So in this situation, you would be able to leave the cover on if you have an extended cold snap. You'll be able to go ahead and leave that cover on because the light could get in, They do allow water to kind of seep in very slowly through the polypropylene. They also allow for air exchange, which is very important. They're lightweight. They come in so many sizes. Plus, you're able to cut them very easily down to the size that you want them to be. And so one of the things is that they're very easy to be able to wrap. Like if you have one plant, like we just put in the crepe myrtle. And so it's a new young plant. And if we get a really hard cold snap, we're probably going to need to wrap that particular crepe myrtle this winter. Older established crepe myrtle, you don't have to worry about that. Okay. So if you get really low, like a 0.5 up to a 0.9 ounce of this polypropylene fleece, you could actually use it as a shade structure during the summertime to help your plants block a little bit of the light and wind and so forth. That's another thing. During the winter, it'll sort of help protect from the cold wind. So really important, as we've discussed here before, don't lollipop your plants. Don't cover only the top foliage and leave the stem and root bare. you're not helping your plant that way. What you really want to do is go all the way down to the ground and anchor it firmly into the ground so that you trap the heat coming up from the ground around your little plant.
All right, no lollipopping.
No lollipopping. So what you want to do, if let's say you're going to have really bad weather for a bit of extended time, like like when we had Snowmageddon that 1 year, you could double your fabric, and that way you'll be increasing the amount of protection that you'll get as far as freeze damage. And you're not trying to grow your tomatoes all the way through the freeze. That's not going to happen, but you could protect your lettuces and your chard and some of your other winter hardy plants further into the year. Or your ornamentals, maybe, that are tender that way. The reason I've been looking into it a little more is because we're ending up with several plants that we're going to have to look at maybe some type of protection this year. And it does kind of get to be a little bit more space hungry than what we might have in the garage. I don't know. So one of the things that you can look at doing, especially like from my point of view where I don't want a permanent structure, but I need something that's going to help protect, say, my Meyer lemons. Meyer lemon, you want to get them, if you're getting down 35 or under 40, you do want to start having protection for them, but you also do want them to have light to continue to grow and everything. So one thing you could do is use the row cover, but also have a structure over the top of it. And this could be plastic draped over hoops, or it could be a temporary little greenhouse structure. We have a plastic one that I picked up from Tractor Supply.
Oh, yeah. You did.
Several years ago. The key to this situation, the benefit is going to be that you could get 2 zones of cold protection if you have 2 layers. If you have the frost cover and the temporary plastic covering. The things for you to watch out for are you need to provide airspace between the plant that's covered with the row cover and the plastic. You don't want the plastic to be touching the plant anywhere. It will cause the moisture to condense on the plant, and the cold will cause freeze damage with that moisture. So there are some caveats that you need to be aware of. You could make your structure as small as a cold frame, which is, we do have this little plastic cold frame structure that's like a 3x4. And so you could have your lettuces growing that you cover and then put this over the top of them if you get down to really, really cold temperatures, which we don't often have cold snaps that last very long.
No.
But some people do.
Right.
And
every once in a while we do.
Every once in a while we certainly do. So your frost covers, look for them to be 1.5 ounce up to 3 ounces per square yard. And they're not very expensive. And they might just provide you with a little bit longer growing season.
Nice.
That is what I have for today.
Well, thank you, Mary.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
I appreciate you as well.
Well, I don't have anything else either.
Wow.
Can you believe it?
I'm in shock.
I mean, you dropped a lot of, that's my new thing. You dropped knowledge today, Mary. Good job.
So goofy.
I know. Well, as always, we appreciate everyone joining us here at Mary Bird's Backyard Garden. We hope you stay with us. Who knows what we'll have next week? We've got part 2 of the pecan tree.
Part 2 of the pecans.
That's going to be cool. I'm thinking pecan pie somewhere.
It might be somewhere in there. Do you like pecan pie?
I sadly, I never used to like pecans, but as I've gotten older, I don't mind them.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that weird how you get older and you start like changing your, I don't know.
Yeah.
I was like extremely picky when I was younger, as you well know. I've opened up my mind and my taste buds.
Younger as in up to 5 years ago.
Yeah. This is the more recent occurrence is that I'm actually eating anything that's not like your basic stuff. But
that's pretty funny.
I do. I'm actually okay with pecans.
Interesting.
So we'll have to see what you come up with next week, and maybe we'll have to put those on the menu for this holiday season.
We certainly might. Now, it was very fun when we had our little libation. Maybe I'll challenge you to come up with something for pecans.
Wow, I think I might even have something.
I would be in shock.
There you go.
All right, that's next week.
All right. Well, like I said, as always, we appreciate you guys joining us here. And until next time,
happy gardening, everyone.
Happy gardening, and we'll see you next week here at Mary Bird's Backyard Garden. Bye.